amateur. That's the only argument that makes sense.
Is there a 212 class?
Guy.
Is there a 212 class in the amateur? Is there a 212 class in the amateurs?
It's just like fighting. You have different classes for different fighters.
Well, I understand it in boxing, because obviously when you're talking about really hurting someone, a weight discrepancy can outweigh a skill discrepancy.
Ian, there's not going to be a massive difference in boxing between UFC between a fucking lightweight and a bantamweight.
No, but if you have no weight classes then, and you have a fucking, Brock Lesnar.
What bodybuilding? We are so obsessed with comparing bodybuilding to MMA and boxing. Like, we're not the same. It's not, we're not a sport. Like, we're not this athletic sport where if you show up at a certain weight, you're going to destroy the guy physically, like with skills. This is so annoying. Like, it's every episode on Fuad's podcast where they talk about weight discrepancies and things like that. Somehow we get this like weird masculine oversensitive thing where we want to be compared to MMA and boxing, and like, we're just not. Like, there's a very obvious thing we should be comparing bodybuilding to. That's pageants. Like the Miss USA pageant. That's a obvious thing we should be comparing it to. Why we compare it to boxing and stuff that requires all this stuff when we have this perfect comparison over here of pageants? Like, that's all we are. Or I love bodybuilding. I absolutely love it, but it's nothing more than a glorified pageant. So when we're talking about this stuff, especially talking about whether or not new weight classes are going to help, or should there be weight classes and all this stuff, we have this other thing over here that's a perfect comparison with pageants. I mean, the Miss USA pageant, there's no weight classes, there's no height classes. It's one class. It's just like, how pretty are you, or whatever they judge. Same thing here. So we look at the Miss USA pageant, there's pageants in general. Would they be more successful if they had height classes or even a weight class? Maybe this class is for heavier girls, this one's for this weight class, and I don't know, something like that. And then the winners of those classes go on to an overall, and you got sort of a female that's a little heavier, one that's moderately heavy, I don't know if that's a word, and then really skinny. Then it's just like, what's your preference? But like, at least you would get to see the differences, right? That's what bodybuilding's doing. It's not like we have one class. It used to be one class, the biggest and the baddest dude on the planet, there he is. But now we have all these other classes so more people can compete. And then we turn it around into thinking that it's like boxing or MMA, like one of the most skilled sports on the planet, with the most vicious guys that train probably just as hard as we do. And we think that's the comparison we should be doing. It's MMA and boxing. We're not a sport. We should be comparing ourselves to pageants. As silly as that sounds. Let me know what you guys think. Do you think that's the proper comparison? Or should we be comparing ourselves to boxing and MMA like this? Because it's just...
I'm not saying no weight classes, but I'm saying like they have some weight classes that aren't necessarily absolutely important. But they have them so more guys will jump in. Right? They're trying to populate the sport.
They're trying so hard. It's just not going to happen. It's a stupid comparison. I'm sorry.